Hi, good morning and good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining today. I hope you guys find this webinar of value and find lots of stuff that you can take back to your team. My name is Brian Dar. I am a solution architect with Expium. I'm also a SAFe program consultant and an Atlassian certified master, which, yeah, that's a title. And I know it sounds kind of weird. And you are here, hopefully, for Jira Service Management for ITSM. Today, we're going to be doing a deep dive into Atlassian's new ITSM capabilities, covering all of the new things that have come to Atlassian since they did a rebrand of Jira Service Desk. We're also going to do live demos of asset and service management, incident management, and change management solutions that are now built into this platform. This webinar is effectively an extension of a webinar that we did last week, which was called Jira Service Management Fundamentals, where we covered all the basics of Jira Service Management project capabilities in Jira. So things like queues and SLAs, stuff like that. I am joined today by our project coordinator, Heather Insalako, who is fielding questions in the Q&A. And she is also going to post the link to that webinar from last week on YouTube so that you guys can go look at that. So we're not going to cover the basics of Jira Service Management. We're going to cover all of the ITSM capabilities that are added on top of it now. This space is changing rapidly, so we're going to continue putting out new webinars highlighting all the changes as they come out. But this one is probably the biggest clump of changes that have been made since Jira Service Desk came out a couple of years ago. All right, so let's dive right in. Let's talk about Jira Service Management Fundamentals first. This is the webinar that we did last time. Everything that we show today is built on top of what used to be called Jira Service Desk. And Jira Service Desk, now Jira Service Management, is a special project type in Jira. There's business projects, software projects, and service management projects. And a service management project provides service-oriented features, which include SLAs, queues, a custom customer portal, and request type customization, that sort of thing. The pricing model for these new types of projects sees increased costs for Jira users, which are known as agents. But in exchange for that, you get infinite free customers that can communicate with you through the portal. So I guess it kind of balances itself out, or ultimately you end up saving a lot of money because you get all of those free customers. The functionality that is built into Jira Service Management, just the basic project, is really helpful for all kinds of teams. It's helpful for HR, for onboarding. It's helpful for legal as they do contract reviews. It's good for facilities who do maintenance and facility management. And its primary benefits are providing a single point of intake, prioritized queues, automatic updates sent back to the service requester, and self-help knowledge articles, which are attached in a knowledge base. So that's what Jira Service Management does for most teams, is those things: queues, SLAs, prioritization, intake portal. Now that we have all that out of the way, we're going to talk about the new products and functionality that Atlassian has built specifically for ITSM and IT operations teams. This is all built on top of Jira Service Management, but there's a lot more to talk about. So let's talk about the tools. Jira Service Management is effectively a rebrand of Jira Service Desk, and it describes an ecosystem of tools that work in concert. Those tools are here on this slide. So the first one is Insight. Insight is an asset and configuration management database that integrates with Jira Service Management. For those of you that know about that field, you might find it strange that I'm saying asset and configuration management. So it's basically an asset database and a CMDB. Basically, they call everything inside this database objects, and it is designed to hold both. So it can hold laptops and server settings based on your IT network. This product was recently acquired by Atlassian, and it is now natively available in Jira Service Management Cloud Premium and also Jira Service Management Data Center. It is only available in those products too. So if you have either of those, congratulations, you just inherited a giant asset management database that I think you'll find very helpful, and we're going to look into that in this webinar. The next product that sort of comprises Jira Service Management is Opsgenie, another acquisition by Atlassian a couple of years ago. And Opsgenie is an alert, incident, and on-call management software for ops teams. It integrates with hundreds of monitoring tools and centrally manages the alerts from those tools and then routes them to the appropriate team members according to team membership, on-call schedules, and escalation policies. So it takes a whole bunch of alerts, configures them, and then sends them to the right people at the right time. And then the people receiving those alerts, they can also customize the way they get those alerts. So push notifications, text, phone call, email, that kind of thing. It also provides an incident command center for handling incidents. And when everything is done, it also supports post-mortem investigation. And we're going to see that too today in a live demo. This is a cloud product that is also native with Jira Service Management Cloud Premium and is a separate purchasable product if you're on data center. The third product that sort of helps all of this is automation for Jira. This is a graphic user interface based low and no code automation engine for Jira. It's hugely powerful and it allows you to create all kinds of triggered automations, either triggered on a schedule or by an event in Jira or by a webhook. I can't overstate just how much functionality this adds to Jira. It also allows you to delegate automation responsibilities down to project administrators if you're a Jira admin, so you don't have to handle all of that, which is quite nice. This is also natively available with Jira Service Management Cloud Premium, and actually the other ones too, but you get more functionality out of the premium version. And it is also a separate product for Jira Service Management Data Center. So I guess you're probably seeing a trend. If you have Cloud Premium, you just got 3 fantastic tools rolled into your Jira Service Management subscription. The last product is Statuspage, which is a remote signpost that indicates the status of your systems. And this is for internal and external customers. It's sort of a source of truth lighthouse away from your services, so it doesn't go down when your services go down. Customers can also subscribe to your status page and get updates on services. And this product also integrates very well with Jira Service Management and Opsgenie, and it is a separate product. Additionally, there are some features that have been added directly into the project menu section of a Jira Service Management projects in Jira. So if you're used to Jira Service Management projects and you spin up an ITSM related project now, you're going to get a lot of shortcuts on the left side, specifically around operations, which includes things like on-call schedules, managed services, alerts, and newly added is a change calendar. And these are all added in cloud, not in data center. So Atlassian is definitely doing cloud first when it comes to Jira Service Management right now. All right, so let's talk about the demos that we're going to do today. Today, I'm going to show you 3 end-to-end demos of how Atlassian's new ITSM features can save your team's time and effort. These are also reflective of things that we have configured for clients ourselves. And so I hope we have enough time to get through them all. There is a lot of information. Specifically, we are going to cover asset and service management, where we will see an end user report a broken laptop, and then we'll switch to the agent view, and they will easily find a replacement for the laptop using not only automation, but also our attached Insight asset database. The next demo that we're going to see is incident management, where we're going to see a user report a service is down, and then the life cycle of managing that incident through Opsgenie all the way to the post-mortem back in Confluence. And then lastly, we're going to see change enablement or change management. I like enablement more. I think it reflects better where the industry is going, where we will see change requests automatically created, assessed, and in the case of standard changes, automatically closed directly from a developer's code repository. So basically, every time they commit code, change requests are automatically created, which will save your developers hundreds of hours per year. Before we hop into those demos, I want to talk briefly about why I'm here talking to you today. I work for a company called Expium. Expium is a platinum solution partner with Atlassian. Basically, Atlassian creates software, and Atlassian's solution partners provide services around that software. So it's a very symbiotic relationship. And Platinum is the highest level you can get, not to brag, it's pretty cool that we are. And we specialize in 3 different areas of services around Atlassian products. The first is training. This webinar is kind of included in that, but we do public and private classes around every possible thing you can think of with Atlassian. So advanced roadmaps, scaled agile, Jira, Confluence, Jira Service Management. We do end user training, admin training, the whole gambit. We also do consulting. So that relates to, let's say, cloud migrations, upgrades, implementations, scaled agile initiatives, that kind of thing. And then lastly, we have a sister company called Oasis Digital that is a full stack development shop. And typically when we provide solutions to clients, we try to keep it in the box first. If we can't find a solution in the box, we'll go to a supported add-on. But if a supported add-on doesn't exist, we can turn to our developers. And if anything has an API, we can connect it to Jira and build intermediate software. Some examples of that are we've built entire new skins for Jira. For example, for Volkswagen, you can see that on our YouTube channel. We've also built, a car management software that uses Jira as a backend. There's also, yeah, so we do a lot of that stuff. So if you need help getting more out of your Atlassian products, hopefully you might consider us. All right, so let's hop into our demos. The first demo is asset and service management. This is specifically for service teams and IT teams. And the challenge that they have often is they deal with predictable tasks which consume their time and their customers' time. It's also often difficult to visualize assets and configuration items and the dependencies between them, especially when you have assets being stored in like an Excel spreadsheet, for example, that is totally decoupled from your service management system. And speaking of that, we often see customers that do have an asset database, but either it's in Excel or it's in a different software that's not connected to their ticketing system. And when this happens, databases are often not kept current. One of my coworkers' previous employer used to send out an asset management spreadsheet every 6 months and had people update them there. But as we'll see in the demo, if you connect your asset management and your service management together, everything is automatically filled in. So the solution here is to use Insight, which is an asset and configuration management database that integrates seamlessly with Jira Service Management and is natively available in Cloud Premium and Data Center. So let's see what that looks like. Here we are. So I have landed in my IT Service Desk portal. And as a user, I'm going to report that my laptop is broken. So I'm going to click on Computers and request a new laptop. And what we see here is who am I raising this request on behalf of? So me. Why am I selecting a new laptop? My current equipment is damaged. Any additional details? My cat spilled milk on my keyboard. And which model would you like? So this is the first place where we see our service management database integrated with our ticketing system. This field is automatically pulling from our asset database, specifically from objects that are supported laptop models. And one automation we could do is actually filter this down to, if I'm a developer, only show me developer laptops. I happen to like MacBooks, so I'm going to choose a MacBook Pro 13-inch 2020 as my replacement and submit my ticket. If you saw our webinar last week, you'll have seen lots of information about this screen. This is the customer issue view screen in the portal. I can see the basics of my ticket here. I can see the status that it's on. I can control notifications. I can transition it through its workflow as a customer if I'm allowed to. And I can share it with other people. So now I'm going to take off my end user hat and put on my service agent hat and flip over to the service agent view of the world. So this is what the ticket looks like in cloud. And over on the left here, we see basic information about this ticket, the description, the title of the ticket, and over here, we've got additional supporting information on the right side. So what's going on here is the laptop model, which is an Insight object that my user selected, that information is here. And if I expand it, I can see all of the metadata associated with that laptop model, which is helpful because now I no longer have to point my, I don't have to point my end user to a service catalog. I don't have to go back and forth about RAM and storage. It's just these are the models that we support, and they selected one already. So that's already saved me some time. And then over on the left side, the two areas that I want to point you to are approvers and affected equipment. And this is where the magic really starts happening. I have 3 automations running in the background upon the creation of this ticket. Or 2, I don't remember. It's been a while since I set it up. The first automation, oh yeah, 3. The first automation went and looked at my user and figured out what laptops my user is an owner of in my asset management database, and then grabbed that laptop and dropped it here into affected equipment. Let me make sure I'm covering everything here because there's a lot of info. So yeah, I can see when, as an agent, I can see when this laptop's going to expire. I can see the serial number, the name. So there's no more back and forth either about what laptop do you have, what's the serial number. The information is just there. A second automation that is run in the background has automatically set the status of my laptop to damage because, as you remember, the reason that I gave earlier was my laptop is damaged. So this means that as a service management person, I don't have to remember to update that asset later on. I don't have to log into a different system. I don't have to wait until my department sends around a spreadsheet every 6 months. My asset database was updated without any effort from me. The last thing that has happened here is that another automation in the background has gone and looked up my user's department's manager and automatically added that person, Vicky, as the approver of this laptop request. So this approval is waiting on Vicky, and as soon as she approves it, I, as the service management agent, can finish fulfilling this request. The next thing to look at is, as an agent, I can get more context around this issue by clicking on this object graph of this affected laptop. So what I see here is a lot of information relating to this object. So I can see that this is the laptop here in the middle. It is related to me, who is related into St. Louis. I can see the monitor that I'm using. I can see the phones that are attached to my user. And then I can see the model of this laptop as well. And actually, the reason that we're seeing so much is because earlier I set the reference depth to 2. I can shrink it back to 1, and then I just see the laptop, the model, and the user. And if I double click on the user, I can see more information about them, including they are a manager of the IT department. They're located in St. Louis. They have a phone. They have a laptop. And I can click on any of these objects and see all the information about those assets too. So a ton of context was just given to the agent without them even having to leave Jira Service Management. I think this is really cool. I hope you do too. Let's see what's next. All right, so I can also switch over into Insight itself. And so I'm going to click this button here, and I can hop over into Insight and view the object with more detail. But first, I'm actually going to zoom out. And if I click here on Insight and View All Objects, or all object schema, I get this list of object schema. So just a brief background about how Insight works. You've got different schema that are basically divided up among who can see the objects in that schema and who can edit the objects. So in this case, I've got all of my employees and departments in one schema being managed by a certain set of people. And then I've got all of my IT employee assets in a different schema being managed by a different set of people. If I click into my IT employee assets, I've got all the information here. I've got all of my laptops, monitors, and phones. And then I have all of my metadata about those, such as location, vendor, and then here are our supported hardware models, which you saw earlier. I've got supported laptops, supported phones. And so right now, I'm viewing all of the laptops here in this area of the screen, and I can see all this information. I can configure the columns of what information about those laptops that I want to see. And as an agent now, to fulfill this request, I can run some basic queries. So I know that Brian requested, according to the ticket, a MacBook Pro 13-inch. So I'm going to say, all right, find me all models that are MacBook Pro 13-inch 2020. And let's just assume that I have a lot of laptops here. I can also further filter my search, and I want things that are status of in stock. Great. It turns out that I have, very conveniently, an in-stock MacBook Pro 13-inch that is located in St. Louis, which of course I also saw that Brian was based on that asset database. So that is the end of the first demo. Hopefully you can see how Insight and Jira Service Management can do equipment replacement and repair and empower your agents to save time. A couple other potential uses for this that I haven't built out here, but that I think are quite cool. You can build extra automation to update a service if an incident occurs. So you could have somebody notify you about the service, and then it could automatically notify the owner of that service. You can auto-route Jira issues based on linked Insight objects. So like you saw here, the approver based on my department owner. You can create Jira issues if an Insight's object's contract is up for renewal. I actually do have an automation rule built in here that creates a ticket every 30 days. I can show you that. Oh man, where is it? It was a task. It's not up here. I'll find it later. But basically, every 30 days, it makes a ticket that shows my agents all of the equipment that is set to expire in the next month. And then they can go deal with either buying new equipment, repairing it, or retiring it. You can also set up asset depreciation automation, which is a very cool concept. And then things within Insight you can do is you can query within Insight itself using these drop-down menus, or you can use Insight query language here. Or you can also search Jira issues based on which objects are attached to them. So we could see which objects are involved in the most incident tickets, or we could see which kind of workplace technology is making the highest number of service requests. There's a ton of querying that you can do back and forth here. All right, I'm going to stop for questions at the end. So I'm going to hop over next into incident management with Jira Service Management. So changing context completely, let's talk about incident management now. This is for IT operations teams. And IT operations tend to have common challenges. One is that many people have tools that don't talk to each other. They have like a service ticketing system, they have an incident management system, they have an alerting system, and none of those are connected to each other. They may also have issues with communication management during an incident with an internal and external set of stakeholders. That could be managed across multiple systems. They're using Zoom over here, they're using Slack over here. There's nothing really bridging the two. And lastly, a lot of times you'll find difficult tool configuration, particularly around monitoring tools. You can set up Nagios and all kinds of other monitoring tools, but where do you want them to go, and how do you route those alerts to the right people? So the solution here is Opsgenie, which collects and routes all of your monitoring tool information, sends it to the appropriate people. It has an online incident command center integrated with your communication tools, and it also integrates very cleanly with Jira Service Management and Statuspage. So in this demo, we're going to use Jira Service Management, Opsgenie, Statuspage, and Confluence. And let's start that one. Oops, let's see. There we go. All right. Close these guys and start here. All right. So as an end user, I have noticed that our website is not working. So I'm gonna log into my internal company portal, systems and infrastructure. I'm going to report a system problem, and I'm going to say that the website is down. Can't log in or can't see anything. And then as an end user, I can choose which of the maintained services that my IT department has set up is affected by this. And these services are going to come up more and more later on. they're sort of the glue that sits between Opsgenie and Jira Service Management, and also Bitbucket. So I'm going to say the website's down. And there's a lot of other information here that I can put in, but I'm going to go ahead and create this ticket. All right, and now I'm going to change hats again, and I'm going to switch over to an agent's view of the world. All right, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to actually land here in my open incidents queue. This is probably a better place to start. And I can see the ticket that I just submitted a moment ago. Website is down. And as an agent, I can also see that there are two other tickets, one of which is almost named the same here. So I've got 3 different tickets showing that my website is down. I should probably investigate this and see what's up. The first thing I can do is I can choose a master ticket to relate all these other tickets to. So I'm going to take these 2 tickets and I'm going to link them, and I'm going to say that they are caused by 147 down at the bottom. And I've effectively made issue 147 down here a master ticket. And what we're going to see later on is when I resolve 147, these other tickets are going to get resolved as well. All right, so I'm going to hop in, view my ticket, clear that. And so now I can see that I've got an effective service, the website, and I can view any open incidents relating to that directly from here, and I can see all the linked issues down here as well. So I have confirmed that the website is actually down. I can click here and say show other incidents, like I said, but there's no major incidents, and this is something that is vital to our business, so we need to resolve it right now. So for this, I am going to create a major incident over in Opsgenie from Jira Service Desk. So I'm going to click up here, create major incident. And I'm going to say that, yes, the website is what is impacted. Website is down is our message. I'm going to change the description. I don't like that. Website is not responding. We are investigating. This is a priority 1 because our website is very critical to our business, and it's not a sub 0, like the business isn't melting down, but it's pretty bad. So let's say sub 1 and create major incident. And I can also choose to link my linked tickets to that major incident, and I'm gonna do that now. So now what I see is I've got an Opsgenie major incident listed here, and as I look in my queues, if I'm a service management individual, I can also come here and look at all ongoing major incidents as well. So this gives me context as a service agent to know what else is broken, and that'll help me head off tickets and link tickets back to master tickets, things like that. All right, so I'm going to hop over into Opsgenie directly from this link. And this takes me directly to our incident command center for that incident. But I want to stop for just a moment and show you the rest of Opsgenie. So I'm going to set aside this major burning fire for a moment, which of course we wouldn't do in real life. And I want to show you the real heart of Opsgenie, which is the alert section over here. So our alert section sits in between all of our monitoring tools and our teams, and it collects all of our alerts according to a series of rules and lots and lots of tool integrations. You can integrate Opsgenie with hundreds of monitoring tools. And in this situation, I can see that I've got an alert here that says website is not responding heartbeat. So ostensibly, I have set up a heartbeat to check my website servers. They aren't responding. I got an alert automatically created. First thing I can do is acknowledge this alert. Great. I can also come here to a series of actions, and down here we see restart AWS. So I can actually connect jobs running in other systems into my alerts and hopefully resolve my problem right from here by just, restarting AWS. And that action was applied. I can also close alerts. I can also reassign them to somebody else. If I dive into the alert, I can see lots of information here, including the activity log and who got emailed. So actually, a bunch of people got emailed according to this timeline, because I made this alert a while ago and nobody responded. And we can see that emails were delivered. We'll be able to see if any emails were opened. This is wonderful for tracing what happened during an incident. All right, so that's the alerts. There's also this lovely who is on call section up here. And if I click on my IT ops schedule, I get our configured on-call system. So what we see here is I've set up 3 different rotations. You can set up whatever it is you need to for your company. In this case, I've got a day shift, a night shift, and a weekend shift. And down here, I've got the final schedule. So I can do things like I can take on call for an hour. I'm actually currently on call, so that's not going to do much, but it actually overrides everything and then makes me the owner on the final schedule. There's also routing and escalation policies associated with my team, which if I come here and dive a little bit deeper into this, IT ops, we can see that there are routing rules, escalation policies, and then this is where I actually configure my schedule down here. So let's look at the routing rules. If the alerts priority is priority 1 or 2, it's going to go straight to my my escalation policy. If it's 3, 4, or 5, it's just going to go directly to the person on call and stop there. And my escalation policy says notify the person on call right away. If they don't respond in 5 minutes, notify the next person on rotation. And if that person doesn't respond, notify every member of the team after 10 minutes. So that's pretty cool. Let's see, on call scheduling, escalation policy. Speaking of notifying people and keeping them informed, I also want to stop for a moment and, well, actually, no. Let me show you one other thing. Let me show you settings. Because Opsgenie sits between your alerting systems and you, clearly the integrations to your alerting systems is very important. So we can see here a list of everything that Opsgenie integrates with, and it is a very long list. So there we go. One of these is Statuspage, and I want to talk about Statuspage for just a moment. So we were talking about alerting your teams. You also want to alert your customers that something is down as well, because they're probably hitting your service desk over and over again now with lots of incident tickets. So coming over into Statuspage, which is a separate product, I can either have Opsgenie automatically create a Statuspage incident, or I can create one manually. I prefer to do it manually because I like the idea of really controlling the message, and you can't do that as much through automation. So I'm going to make an incident. Website is down. I can choose what components are down on my website. I've only configured 2. I'm going to say that my API is down. Obviously, there would be more components for your business. We're experiencing a major outage, and I would like to send notifications to all of my subscribers. So now I've got an incident that is created here, and what has happened is people can come to my status page and they can see that it's down. But even better than that, if I come back to my service desk, oh gosh, here we go. I'm going to duplicate this tab and drag it over here. If I come all the way back to my service desk, you can see that Opsgenie is now reporting that my website is down directly on my service desk, which is fantastic. So people can see the website's down, and they can click from here and they can view my status page and they can see what's going on. So in this case, website is down. We are currently investigating. And from here, as an end user, I can subscribe to get updates about this service. And I can see all of my components and all of their uptime over the past 90 days. So a lot going on the status page externally as well. Something cool, by the way, is that Zoom, the actual platform that we're using right now to do this webinar, Zoom has a status page as well. And my fictional company here, Coffee Co., actually subscribed to Zoom. Here we go. So if I click on alerts, because Zoom is an important aspect of our business, you see here that Frankfurt Data Center Maintenance, this is about Zoom, specifically about all of their maintenance schedules as well. And that's because my teams in Opsgenie are subscribing to Zoom's alerts. So I've got, for example, a couple days ago, they had issues starting and joining meetings. So if you have a status page in Opsgenie and another company has Opsgenie, they can be monitoring your stuff as well. Lots of nice synergies and interconnectedness there. All right. Well, meanwhile, we've just lost a ton of money in our business because I have not been paying attention to this incident. So let's go ahead and handle the incident. So here I land in my incident page, and over on the left we see a description. We see the impacted services that I added to that earlier when the ticket was created. We see potential causes where we can start listing potential causes. We've got related Jira software issues, related Jira Service Management tickets, all kinds of interconnectivity there. In the middle section, we have our communication section, and this is where I can add responders, such as my coworker, Vicky, who, if you noticed earlier, was my manager. And Vicky happens to be a subject matter expert, so I'm going to list her as such. I'm going to add one more coworker, Elizabeth. Elizabeth is going to be our communications officer for this incident as well. So now I have very clearly invited and assigned people roles. They have just gotten alerts over in Opsgenie themselves via their preferred method. And you can see over here on the timeline that all of these changes that I'm making are stacking up on the timeline as well. Meanwhile, I can also connect all of this over to Slack if that's my preferred communication channel. I can connect Slack to this page, and then from Slack, I can directly add entries onto my timeline. There is also a built-in conferencing incident command center. You can connect rooms that you use, or you can make a new one. I'm not going to go all the way into that now because I'm actually using Webinar with my audio video, but this will open up an incident room that has audio video communications as well. So again, a lot going on this. Also, if I refresh this, you'll see that up in the top right corner, we've got duration and elapsed time. We can also enter impact dates, detected dates, things like that. But what I really want to show you right now is this impacted services and potential causes thing. So if I click investigate, because my service website is actually connected to Bitbucket, which is the repo that is holding my website code on, I can come to this timeline view and I can see all of the deployments for that service. I've got successful deployments back here, I've got failed deployments, and I've got ongoing incident bars here. So I can see that I had a failed deployment yesterday, and then today I also had a failed deployment. So I can click into that, and then I can see all of the different commits that were done recently. And I actually think that it was probably this most recent commit at 10:21 a.m. So I'm going to select that as a potential cause, add that potential cause. And now that is front and center in my room about this failed deployment. And now people that are investigating can go take a look at that. All right. Lastly, let's say that all of this is discovered to have been a bug. Fantastic. I can create a bug to solve with my website team right here. So I'm going to make a bug in my sample Scrum project over here. Fix website. And now I've just made a Jira software issue. The teams can go start tracking their information over there. And now let's wait 20 minutes and assume that everything is starting to resolve itself. I can send an update to all of these subscribers to the website service. I also have my status page connected to my Opsgenie so that when I resolve the alerts, my status page incident can also resolve itself. So here I have centralized communications and messaging, and yeah. I also think this is pretty cool. I hope you do too. Let's see what's next. All right, so let's assume that all of this is done. we resolved the issue. We have closed our alerts. Actually, we haven't closed our alerts yet. Don't worry about that. I'm going to say resolve here. And this will actually automatically close all of the associated alerts with this incident. And then it's going to push way up top my post-mortem creation. So of course I want to do a post-mortem. And then here I get a whole template around what I need to talk about to do my post-mortem. I prefer to work in Confluence though, so I can click over here and I can say export this to Confluence instead. Or I could write it here and then do draft in review. I could publish it. But if I work over in Confluence, this is an example here in Confluence of a post-mortem report. So I've got information pulled in from Opsgenie. I've got priorities. I've got incident duration. I've got start and end dates. I've got responder teams, incident responders. All of that's automatically added in there as well. And I've got the related incident ticket here too. And then I've got all of that text that I had, lead up, fault, detection information. And then I've got the whole timeline brought in from Opsgenie that was also being populated from Slack. And then down here, I've got extra attachments that include things like statistics around my incident. So that's what Opsgenie does. And that's how you can use Opsgenie and Jira Service Management and Confluence to manage your incidents and have all of that connected to your code repos as well. All right, the last demo that we're going to do today is around change management or change enablement. So this is specifically for, again, totally changing gears, change managers and developers. And the challenge that we see people dealing with in the change management world is people have slow processes. There's a lot of manual work with change management, especially for developers. Like I'm working on a story, but I'm also having to open up change tickets, and I'm also working in Bitbuckets. There's a lot of systems connected there. So a lot of manual work, and change management can be risky with, especially when you have lots of bureaucracy. So the solution is to automate your risk assessment using automation for Jira, to automate your change request creation, or at least some of it, by connecting Jira Service Management to your code repositories, automating approvals of low-risk changes, tracking and gating deployments via your CI/CD pipeline and making those visible in your change management tool, and then collaborating on changes with change calendars. So let's take a look at all of that in Jira Service Management. Let's come back here, close all my unneeded tabs. All right, so the first thing we can do as a user is I can manually report a change, right? I can come here, I can request a change, and I have all of this information here, summary, description. I can choose the services that it affects. We saw a list of those services earlier. I can list the change type, the impact, the urgency, etc. But really, I'm just going to do a simple one. Let's see. Actually, no. I'm going to hop over in there and show you one that was already completed, because this is a lot of information to do. So I'm going to land in my, oops, sorry about that. There we go. Duplicate this and come back over here. So I'm going to come to all of my changes and show you what is created here. I've got changes here in my IT service desk, and then I've got open changes. And we can see here the same view that we've seen before. I've got a change type, I've got impact, I've got urgency, change risk, things like that that are all listed here for my change managers to deal with. Additionally, there is a whole workflow around change management built into Jira Service Management. And what we see here is we've got different paths for our standard, normal changes. So we've got planning and straight to approval. We've got a path for standard changes, and then we have a path for emergency changes as well. And then of course, depending on the deployments, we can land in canceled, completed, failed. that kind of stuff. There is also a built-in change calendar now. Which if I come over here, you can see it on the left side under this new cloud menu called Change Calendar under Operations. And this shows me all of my scheduled changes depending on the calendar view that I want to see. So I've got 4 different changes here, including a Jira cloud migration that's happening over the weekend as well this month. I actually prefer to do change calendars over in Confluence though. And this is an example here of one. I like this because team calendars for Confluence also allows me to bring in other calendars as well. The cloud change management calendar directly in JSM is not quite robust yet. It just got rolled out. But here I see all of my holidays as well as scheduled change freezes. And actually here I see that there's a problem. I've got a change freeze over this particular long weekend, but I've got a cloud migration scheduled then too. So that's a conflict that I'll probably want to address. Lastly, speaking of Confluence, there is also, as you make a change ticket, you might want to log that all first in Confluence. And Confluence has a template here. In this situation, adding gift cards to the website is my change. I've got all of my change details, including service owners, technical reviewers, impacted services. I've got my change plan here. I've got my implementation tasks to do, including which ones impact and which ones have outages. I've got my communications officers, and then I have a post-implementation review template down here as well. So there's lots of like stuff already built in template-wise to help support you in your change management. But rather than do manual change management like I showed you in the portal, I think it's really cool to do automated change management. So I'm going to actually switch over to being a developer now and show a workflow around change management as a developer. So here I've got a story that I'm working on. I need to add euro to my payroll system's currency. I'm currently working on this. This is SSP24. Great. So I'm going to come here to my payroll repo, and I'm going to make a change live in the cloud here. I've got a pipeline set up that every time code is committed to master, a deployment runs. So I'm just going to do something really quick. I'm just going to rename a file here, which is going to effectively commit code to master. Obviously, this would be done through not directly in your repo like this in real life, but you get the idea. So adding euro to payroll system, SSP, what was that, 24. Great. So I am committing my code. The first thing I can do is come back over to my ticket, and I can see that all of that development information, yeah, here we go. I've got one commit here, and back in Bitbucket, I actually have a pipeline running. And as soon as that pipeline is finished, we will see development info show up on my ticket over here as well. I'm sorry, deployment info. But more importantly, let's come back over to my service desk and see what has happened. Let's see, is this deployment done yet? That's the one problem with demoing this is sometimes these deployments take a little while. Let's see how that's doing. Almost done. Well, meanwhile, over in my service desk, if I come to my closed changes queue, oh no, it's not done yet. Ugh, I apologize for the wait. All right, and we done? Come on, Bitbucket. Well, theoretically, this is saving us a lot of time. While this is happening, let me talk for a moment about services. If I come to my service desk, and I'll get back to the change management section in a minute, I've got this services link here. And if I open that up, that has all of the services that, including some data about them, such as tiers. So the payroll system that I just deployed code to, that is a tier 3 service over here. There we go. All right, everything's done. Now, if I come back to my change management service desk, we will see that way up here, ITSD 148, deployment for Expium demo payroll master to production. What happened was a bunch of automation rules in the background just did a lot of cool things. First of all, this was automatically labeled as basically a change ticket was automatically created. And then automation said, all right, that was a tier 3 service. It was low impact. Therefore, it is a standard change type with a low change risk. Therefore, another automation picked it up and moved it all the way through the workflow to completed, and also set all of the necessary approvers, and they got notified as well. So without doing any work, that developer committed code and a change ticket was logged and automatically closed without them having to touch the change management tool. So now we have our change record taken care of. So that just saved our developer lots of time right there. Now I want to show one more type of code committed. So that was on a tier 3 system that is not terribly important. It was a standard change. Everything was automated. But what happens if I do a deployment on a tier 1 service? And in that case, I've got my mobile app here. Different service, different repo, different problem. This time I'm using something called gated deployments. So because this is a very important service, we want all of our changes here to be normal changes, and we want those normal changes to be approved first. So I'm going to come and do the same thing in here. I'm going to commit some code to master by effectively just editing a file here. And this one hopefully will not take as long, but I have a feeling it will. So I can come to pipelines here, and this is my deployment pipeline for those of you that aren't particularly used to working in Bitbucket. And I've got this deployment running in progress. I can come in here and I can see what's happening. I really need something more to vamp on while this is going on. I already talked about services. But basically, let me tell you what is going to happen, and then I can show you. So this is going to get halfway through the deployment. It's going to realize that, oh wait, once I made a change ticket, because this is a normal change in my change management system, I need an approval. And so it's actually going to stop the deployment here, and it's then going to open up a change management approval ticket. And then once I approve that change and push it through its workflow, this deployment is automatically going to restart and finish its job. But holy cow, it has taken a while. There we go. All right, yeah. So what we see is this deployment has been stopped. There is a change request pending, so I can click here and open that change request. We see that because it was a tier 1 service, it is a normal change. It is a critical change risk. I'm going to go ahead and approve that change, and I'm going to push it through its workflow. We are now implementing it. And if I come back to Bitbucket and refresh, you'll see that Bitbucket picked up that my change got approved and is now finishing up its deployment over here. Like, holy cow, that just saved everybody a ton of time too. We didn't have to go make a ticket. We didn't have to, yeah, I think this is pretty cool as well. And also, you'll see that once that deployment finishes, this ticket was automatically moved to completed as well. Whoa, all right. Oh, also that was done with Bitbucket, but Jenkins is also supported, and there are more tools that are coming soon as well. So hopefully you can see that this will clearly save your developers a lot of information. All right, back to the presentation. Okay, so that was a ton of information. I'm still going to do Q&A at the end, but I wanted to stop right now and say thank you very much for your kind attention. I hope you found this useful. Specifically, we talked about asset and service management. We talked about incident management and then change management at the end. Hopefully one of those rang as interesting and helpful to you. If you need any help implementing any of this stuff, or if you want a deeper dive, please reach out. You can find me on LinkedIn through this QR code, or you can email me at brian.dar@expium.com. This is not the only webinar that we do. We have quite a number of them. The one today was Jira Service Management for ITSM. We have Intro to Portfolio Management in Jira, Introduction to Jira Align. We have Governance. We have that first Service Management Fundamentals webinar that I talked about. We have Introduction to Confluence. Then we also have some paid classes too, like Jira Bootcamp and Confluence Bootcamp. You can find all of these on our website, expium.com. And you're also welcome to email me or find me on LinkedIn if you have any questions about any of these upcoming classes and webinars as well. All right, so thank you for attending. Now I'm going to do QA, but if you've got to go, I hope you have a good day, and I hope you found this useful. Thank you very much. All right, and questions. Does Insight come with Data Center Edition, or is it also an optional purchase? Depending on the version of Data Center you have, once you update past a certain version, Insight is now included with it. Is it possible to automatically close an Opsgenie major incident when all associated Jira issues, bugs are closed? No, you have to close the major incident from Opsgenie. However, there may be an API functionality that will close an incident, but right now the integration is more you start it from Jira. Oh, but actually, what you just reminded me though, something that I forgot to show is well, anyway, I could have gone back to Jira and I could have closed that main ticket, and then all those linked tickets would have also closed. Sorry I didn't show that, but there's some automation running in the background as well that once you close a master ticket, all of its children also close. Let's see, other questions. I think there's one more. All right. Well, I guess that's it. Thank you all very much for attending. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I hope you have a great day, and we'll see you next time.